It's Dorm Room Sports Chat. I'm your host, Emmy Comia, with analyst Evan Murray, UATV Sports Director Joey Petrello, and analyst Salva Carmona. Dorm Room Sports Chat starts right now.
Welcome to another episode of Dorm Room Sports Chat. Tonight, hosting for Emmy Comia, I am Joey Petrello, joined by Evan Murray, Salva Carmona, and filling in for me as an analyst tonight is UATV sports reporter Danny Passavoy. Tonight, we talk about the Wildcats' gut-wrenching loss to UCLA, Arizona basketball's convincing win over Humboldt State, give you the Cat Report, along with an NFL West Coast score rundown, and finally, we'll cap it off with 30 seconds. On Saturday, the number 22 Arizona football team carried a lot of momentum from last week, but they fell flat on their faces in Pasadena against UCLA. The final score of last night was on Saturday was 66-10 Bruins. Evan, the Wildcats offense was non-existent. How was UCLA's defense so successful?
I mean, I don't know if it was more UCLA's defense or just that we were shut down, literally. Our rushing yards were 121 compared to 308. Kadeem Carey normally averages about 120 yards a game. He had
Richard Morrison, they overcame that. Kadeem Carey held to 3.4 yards per carry. Matt Scott averaging somewhere around 300 yards a game coming in. Less than 150 today. It was a joke. Arizona's offense could not get anything going. The wide receivers could not make moves on UCLA's corners. UCLA's defensive line shut down the running game, and I think that was a big key to this one.
Absolutely. I mean, I was at the game, and it was interesting to see how much fun UCLA was actually having just spanking us because they had 3 touchdowns in the first quarter. It was 21-0. There was players on the field that were dancing to the players on the sideline while we're all in a group huddle figuring out what the heck we're going to do. So it was very interesting to watch, actually devastating for me as a fan at the game. So it was bad.
UCLA, for the past, 8 years or so, they haven't had it. They haven't had the swagger that a football team needs to win. Yeah. With the Jim Mora era coming in, ushers in a new football team, a new group of guys who like to have football, who like to have fun, who know that they can win. Yeah. And this year they're doing and they're showing they hold the key to the table in the Pac-12 South this year. Yeah,
you could tell. I mean, if anyone's ever questioned if UCLA was good this year, this game proved it not only with how they played, but their energy. It's there. I mean, it was homecoming. The stadium was absolutely packed. So the momentum was there for them. And it just, from the very beginning, we just weren't going to get anywhere, and it was pretty obvious.
Well, don't forget, guys, that it was their homecoming weekend. So, yeah, the stadium was filled, and the Wildcats just didn't come out. Rich Rod actually put the blame on himself, said he called the wrong plays, and, calling the plays, that they were running the same offense they have all season. So I think it was just the players coming out really sluggish.
Yeah.
Anyways, so Salva, Matt Scott suffered a serious head injury after taking a knee to the head, and BJ Danker immediately had to take over. From what we saw of Danker, can he carry the Wildcats to a bowl game appearance?
I do believe so because we're only one game away from becoming a bowl eligible. And he might not be the best quarterback in the world, but I believe he's good enough, and U of A is good enough to win the next game coming up against Colorado. It's our homecoming game. The crowd's going to be awesome. He's no Matt Scott. I cannot say that he will win the game and stay the rest of the season winning the other 2 games against Utah and Arizona State. But I do believe he's good enough, and the Arizona Wildcats are good enough to beat a Colorado team that, frankly, is awful.
Do you really think that the crowd's going to be awesome? Remember, everybody, it's going to be at 11:30 a.m. this Saturday. So Zona Zoo, you are known for not going to games You were known for leaving at halftime too early, so I don't know. I don't know what to expect from the crowd.
I believe that if Zona Sioux leaves at halftime this time,
Have to rely on the running game, and they're very, very good at the run. UCLA was not a true showing of how they can do. And if Kadeem Carey can let loose, Danker won't have to make the impossible passes to win this game. Kadeem Carey can lead this team to a victory on his own. And Arizona's defense, Marquise Flowers, getting to the quarterback more and more each game. I think Arizona will handle this game, and I think the fans will come out.
Yeah, and then there's just to see the line, I know in Vegas right now it's at 31, so we are in favor of 31 points. Not that that normally matters too much. UCLA was a 3-point victory for them, so we saw how that panned out.
they still won. I mean, the wise guys know stuff that we don't.
Yeah.
I do believe
100%.
I do believe Colorado will not be able to pull up a victory against the U of A at the U of A's house on homecoming day. And I do believe a lot of people are coming, and it's projected to be sold out just because it's homecoming. 11:30, I agree, it doesn't help.
Sold out is bold.
It's projected to be. I'm not. It's Arizona Athletics.
Okay, I was like, dang, is that your prediction?
Wow, all right.
No.
11:30 is just, if it was a 7 o'clock game, I would definitely imagine
the
that.
ticket
but-
sales department has projected that the game will be sold
Okay.
out. I don't know if it will be sold out. I don't think it will be, and I'm sure that Zona Sioux will not be packed. But even if the stadium was empty, U of A should still win against Colorado.
Yeah.
Oh,
no
yeah.
We can
questions,
dream, right?
Well, B.J. Danker against South Carolina State, remember, was 6 of 10 for 78 yards with a touchdown pass. That was his first touchdown pass of his entire career. So hopefully we can see similar numbers there. All right, so Danny, late in the fourth quarter, Bruins head coach Jim Mora Jr. decided to go for it on fourth down while his team was up by 56 points. Was Coach Mora right in doing this?
No, of course he's not right, because then you're just running up the score. However, Jim Mora Jr., he's an NFL coach, and that's how they play. They coach till the very, very end of this game. Arizona's offense, obviously, mascot is out, but you never know what's going to happen. And that's the mentality of all NFL coaches. They play till the very end. Like, for example, in the Tampa Bay game the other day, Coach Greg Schiano decided to power rush the Giants' victory formation. They had no chance of winning the game, but he still went for it. It was the last play of the game. That's how NFL coaches are. And now that he's brought that to UCLA, and I kind of like that. However, I don't think it was morally correct, but I like the NFL aspect coming to the Pac-12.
You make a good point on that, and I don't think it's right either, because I feel like, one, it's a shot to our defense. It's like, really, like, you expect to run through us every time, which,
Right.
I mean, that game obviously displays that type of presence for our defense, but once again, I don't think it was right. It's unnecessary. It was just like slapping us in the face like they were kind of doing the whole time with the dancing, with kind of everything. So it was just like they almost made a joke of us, is how I feel.
Well, I personally have no problem with teams running up the score. University of Miami has done it for decades. Notre Dame has done it for decades. Oklahoma has done it for decades. So I personally have no problem, and if my team was doing it, I would be happy to see it. So I'm not gonna be a hypocrite. I don't have a problem with this happening. That's just me personally.
Another point I want to make too is, like, towards the end of the game, even though it was 56-10, you're trying to work different guys in there. I know they had Brett Hundley in there pretty late, but you're still bringing in new guys, and you want to get these guys experience, and you don't just have them put them out there for nothing. You want to work them while they're out there and give them some real game experience. So I actually have no problem with this. I think it's morally a little bit incorrect, but I really don't have a problem with that.
Well, as Evan mentioned, UCLA tried to make a joke out of us on that play, but the joke was on them, and they were stuffed. Turnover on downs, Coach Mora. When we return, we'll get our positive moods back when we talk Wildcat basketball. See you soon.
I'm Derek Williams, the former U of A Wildcat. You're watching UATV. Don't change the channel.
Anything for free, I keep my enemies closer than my mirror ever gets to me. And if you think that there is shelter in this attitude, Where do you feel the warmth of my gratitude? I get the feeling that it's 2 against 1. I'm already fighting me, so what's another one?
Hello, and welcome to UA Tonight.
We are your hosts.
No. No.
It's okay, you don't have to cut me off.
No way.
I'm like
Thank
literally
you so
obsessed.
much.
Baby, I'll be such to you like glue. Baby.
It's
All
not
these
easy.
travelers, I've never even been there. For drunk driving after calling the cops on himself.
We thought that you guys.
Oh my God!
To go get quotes from a polling place.
No, that sucks.
On Halloween, the Arizona basketball team played an exhibition game in the McHale Arena against the Division II opponent Humboldt State. The Cats beat down the Lumberjacks 108-67. Evan, the new guys have made a quick impact. Which one player played best for Arizona in that game?
No questions asked. I'm going with Zeus.
Zeus.
As the whole Zona Zeus chanting Zeus now, so that should be good. But Zeus had 18 points and 10 rebounds. As a freshman, he did not look like a freshman at all. There was nothing that even, he didn't seem nervous. It wasn't a good first half and a bad second half. It was nothing. It was smooth basketball. And so I definitely think Caleb Tarczewski was the greatest player of that game, and Mark Lyons was definitely runner-up for it.
Yeah, I would agree. 15 points for Lyons, along with 5 assists. Zeus in that game was 7 of 9. He had 18 points. And so, yeah, a great game for Zeus. Any other thoughts, analysts?
I really liked Caleb, obviously. Second half shooting, he was unbelievable. 13 in the second half, 10 rebounds, 4 offensive. He was clearly the star, clearly the newest, brightest star on this team. Mark Lyons, only 21 minutes played, 15 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. I love this game. I love how the new guys came out, performed, and they're really showing how good they could be this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And not to mention, Ashley had a quiet 12 points. He wasn't very loud about it. There wasn't big dunks by him, but he definitely made a presence for that game. And then also, what I found interesting is no player, the most played minutes was 27 minutes by Solomon Hill, who actually did have 15 points. But you can see how deep we are this year, and it's really actually amazing to see.
All right, well, Salva, you're up now. Last season, the Wildcats played a much tighter game with the Lumberjacks, and they won that one by just 9. Does last Wednesday's victory show how much better Arizona basketball is this season from the last?
Yeah, I do believe so. It shows that we have a more of a complete roster. We have more depth in the bench. We have the size that we didn't have last year. And to me, the most important thing is we have the commitment to the players and the team and the program that we did not have last year. So I do personally believe that these games are not the most important games. In fact, we could have skipped them, but we know why we have them. Money, but it's all good. But the reality is, these games, they're good to compare to last season, because last season, if you guys remember, we lost the first game against Seattle Pacific.
Absolutely.
People
How
don't even
could we
know.
forget?
Yeah, so people don't even know where the university was, and we lost. People don't know where Humboldt State was, but still they don't know where there is, but there are. But it was good that we won, and it did show definitely a lot of good things. But I like to emphasize the fact that the players showed way more commitment to the program and the coach.
You guys, the depth of this team is unreal. We go from a 6'7" center, Jesse Perry, to a 7-footer, which is unreal. And then just another thing, we had 9 players with boards, and Zeus led them with 10. So it's just showing how we had an amazing, everyone didn't have to play 40 minutes. It was divided up evenly. Even Gabe York had 12 minutes, and he had 8 points. And so that just kind of shows where our team is at. Nick Johnson had 5 steals. Gabe York had 1 steal. That's the kind of aggressiveness that was showed, dedication to this program. Just effort like that, even in an exhibition game, really separates last year's team from this year's team. It's night and day to me.
Just to go off that a little bit, how balanced this team is, 10 players on the roster got 12 minutes of play. That is unbelievable. That shows just how just the worst guys on the team are still pretty good and can still put up huge numbers. The bench shooting, 15 of 21 for 71% shooting. That is unreal.
Yeah, that's like when you said our worst players got 12 minutes or more. I mean, our Gabe York played the least minutes and he had 8 points still. It's just like, that's really what we're working with this year. And I don't think anyone's complaining.
I'm not.
But it's really awesome to see.
Yeah, and to go off of that, guys, I feel like this season, or last season, the new guys came out really sluggish in those exhibition games. This year, they look much more prepared in every aspect of the game. All right, so Danny, final question here for Wildcat basketball. Another exhibition home matchup with Chico State is up next for Arizona. Can they follow up with another dominant performance?
They definitely can, and Arizona has the depth, they have the balance, and they have the shooters to blow this Chico team away. Chico finished on top of the California Collegiate Athletic Association League last year at 25-8. They're a very good team. DeMario Sims, Amir Caraway, some very good players on this team. However, they're a D2 school. Arizona, top 3 recruiting class in the country. If Arizona's playing at the top of their game, there's no way they should even come close to competing. 75% shooting in the second half as a team. There's no way this Chico State Wildcat team will be able to even come close.
I agree with you on that, and it's amazing. Sean Miller said in his press conference there was 12,431 people at the exhibition game, which was Halloween also, and then not to mention our game tomorrow is election night. So Sean Miller's really scheduling things at the wrong time, and we're still getting this crowd, and they're still behind their Wildcats. So it's really good to see that, and I think the freshmen really need that experience with a big crowd, and they're going to get it again. So I don't think they're going to have a problem.
I don't think they're going to have a problem either, but just to say one thing, to disagree with you.
Okay.
Sean Miller does not schedule the games. In fact, inside sources tell me that he was really mad about having a game on Halloween night and on election night. So it's probably not going to happen next season. So
yeah, he seemed irritated by that. He's like, we
'cause
picked the best nights to have it. Like the Red-Blue game was on Sunday at 2 p.m. and then we have Halloween
after volleyball.
Right, and so I mean, Sean Miller isn't very happy about that.
I'd be pretty mad too.
Yeah, but looks like the fans are still coming out. So.
And why shouldn't they when
Yeah,
we have
exactly.
Nick Johnson shooting over 60%? When you have Solomon Hill playing at the same level he played at last year with a better team. I'd come out too. This is going to be a very exciting Arizona basketball season.
Absolutely.
Well, guys, I honestly like the Halloween matchup because Evan and I called the game, and I got to do a lot of cheesy little Halloween sayings like the Wildcats weren't haunted by last season. That was pretty funny.
They were good.
And as for Election Day, just go vote Romney and then just go to the game right after. All right, everybody, stay tuned for the Cat Report and the NFL West Coast Rundown after this commercial break. We'll see you soon.
I'll be right there.
Thanks,
cameraman. You're my hero.
Welcome back, Arizona fans. We now give you the Cat Report, but for one thing, I would just like to say you can also vote Obama. After leaving last night's football game against UCLA, Arizona linebacker Hank Hobson was driven off the field on a stretcher after suffering a serious injury. Hobson was released from a Los Angeles hospital last night. And also, the Arizona basketball squad will play their last exhibition game of the season tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. against Chico State in the McHale Arena, as we just talked about. The Arizona hockey team at home was swept by ASU for the second time this season. On Saturday, the Sun Devils prevailed 7-1. The Wildcats men's tennis team played in the Easley Memorial Classic. In the singles semifinals, 2 straight set victories for the Cats from UA's Kieran Thompson over UNLV's Tomas Batyi, and Arizona's Carlos Bermudez against Las Vegas's Josh Cody Miller. However, UA's Matt Dunn fell to UNLV's Gregoire Lehman in straight sets, and Arizona enjoyed at least one victory against UCLA this weekend. The women's volleyball team upset the number 5 Bruins for their 3rd victory against UCLA in their last 4 matchups. Now we're going to bring you the NFL West Coast rundown. Yesterday, the Arizona Cardinals went to Lambeau Field to face the Green Bay Packers. They lost that game. The Oakland Raiders also were at home against the Buccaneers. They lost that one 42-32. The Seattle Seahawks at home walked out with a 30-20 victory over the Minnesota Vikings. And last Thursday, the San Diego Chargers enjoyed a 31-14 win over the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, analysts, right now the Philadelphia Eagles are on the road in New Orleans playing the Saints. If Philadelphia loses and Michael Vick plays poorly, he already has an interception in this game that was returned for a touchdown. Should former Arizona quarterback Nick Foles take over permanently?
Yeah, he definitely should. And Michael Vick and Andy Reid have shown that it is kind of going towards Nick Foles if Michael Vick can't step up. Andy Reid has always been the first guy to support Michael Vick. Every press conference saying he will be back, he will be playing. And that's kind of turned into he's probably starting the next game. And Michael Vick even said, yeah, I'll endorse whatever decision Andy Reid makes. Michael Vick having a horrible season. The turnovers are piling up, and it's just an unbelievable amount right now. Nick Foles showed in the preseason he can play and he can throw, and we know how accurate he is. Right. We know how strong of an arm he has. He can play in the NFL. He's got the receivers on the Eagles. I think he could be a very good NFL quarterback, and I think we're going to see it pretty soon.
I'm definitely with you. And also, I mean, at the end of the day, college, NFL, anything, if your first option isn't working and is really hurting your team, go to the second option. It doesn't change from college to NFL. So I'm thinking Nick Foles is definitely, at least they should, I don't know about permanently at this point, but they should definitely give that a chance.
I'm not going to focus on Nick Foles as the quarterback. I'm just going to say that just want to talk about Michael Vick, because it's the only one we've seen so far. And he, like Danny said, it's a turnover machine, and I do believe he should be substituted at this time. It's a good thing that Nick Foles didn't start in this game because it's on the road, it's in New Orleans, so it's a good opportunity for Nick Foles to come next week when they're playing home and try to secure or at least attempt a bigger chance for a victory, because if he would have started today, got 3 picks, he wouldn't start next week, and it will go to 3rd string.
Maybe not start, though, but do you guys think that by the end of the game, Nick Foles will get in? Or
it depends.
I mean,
if it's close, he won't. If it's a close victory if the game is super tight, I don't think he will. If it's a blowout, either way, I think he will get some playing time.
Yeah. The problem with the Eagles this year, they have a bevy of problems right now, but the main problem right now isn't Michael Vick, isn't the cornerbacks who have been playing like garbage. It's the offensive line. Michael Vick, he's under duress over 30% of the time. That's like 10% more than any other quarterback in the NFL right now. And Michael Vick, while he's not doing anything with it, he has a 6.7 QBR within that time when he's under duress. He's not doing anything with it. That's the problem. When you're under duress, that's when you need your quarterback the most to step up and make those tough throws. He has in the past. This year, it's just not happening for him. I think Michael Vick blows this game, that's it.
I agree. And I would like to say just one more thing. With Michael Vick, his situation right now, and the situation of the Philadelphia Eagles, if they think the only problem on the team is the quarterback, they should think twice. And that also goes for the Dallas Cowboys. If you think your only problem is the quarterback, then you should look around the organization because there's a lot of other things going on, and the quarterback is not the most important thing.
Well, I agree with you guys, but if the Eagles do decide to bench Michael Vick, that's pretty much saying
Season's
that
over.
we do not trust you anymore, and you're probably not going to be with us next year. I think that it's a very risky move benching him. However, Nick Foles did. He was tied for the league lead with 6 touchdowns in the preseason, in case anyone didn't know that. And I'm rooting for him as an Arizona student, and he's an Arizona alum. So, yeah, it's kind of disappointing to see how it all played out for Michael Vick. In the beginning of the season, he said the Eagles were going to be a dynasty, and right now the biggest accomplishment he's made is owning a dog. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we return, we'll finish the show off with a game of 30 seconds, so don't change the channel.
Hi, it's David Hasselhoff, the Hawk. Get Hawk with UATV. Stay tuned. Don't change the dial.
With an undefeated 5-0 outcome for the Fall Classic Tournament.
The Occupy movement is taking hold because of its strength in numbers.
Tonight is the absolute last night to ride the trolley, as it is closing for 2 years.
I'm sitting on what used to be known as Bear Down Field, which will soon be U of A's new practice field.
I'm Evan Murray, reporting from McHale Center with Wildcast.
Oh, I don't have a watch, but it's that time, everybody. We're going to play 30 seconds. Evan, you're up first. Go.
All right, I'm going to talk about the Lakers. I'm a Laker hater, and I don't care. The Lakers are 1-3. They lost to the Mavericks, who have pretty much nobody besides Dirk, and he wasn't playing that game. The Blazers, the Clippers, and then they won against the Pistons. Congratulations, Lakers. We are so proud. Obviously, Steve Nash is not in the mix right now because he fractured his left leg, so I can imagine that would be a problem. We'll see if they mesh. I hope not.
Salva, it's all you.
I'm going to talk about James Harden and the trade with the Oklahoma City Thunder. They offered $55 million. He took $80 million in Houston. I think it was a big mistake done by Oklahoma. I do understand that they don't want to get into the salary tax issues, this luxury salary tax problems. But OKC definitely made a big mistake. They were the 30th team on the NBA on assists, and they just traded their number one the guy that lead their team on assists. So pretty weak on that sense, and this guy's going to be an all-star in February. You watch.
What's up, Danny?
All right. I was going to talk about John Skelton right now, but since you brought up the Lakers, I'm going to talk about why the Lakers are going to win. The Princeton offense, it's not an overnight thing. You can't just pick it up in a second. Mike Brown even said that you won't see the true form of the Lakers until at least January. This team is stacked. Dwight Howard is the best big man in the league without a doubt. Kobe still has it. Still has the best shot in the NBA right now. Steve Nash, when he comes back in 4 weeks, probably, this team's going to jumpstart and they're going to take off straight to the championship. You just watch.
I can't wait to not watch that happen.
Quoting Charles Barkley, I want my accountant to come from Princeton, not my offense.
But Mike Brown is still not going to work there. But okay.
Kobe's the one coaching the team. I have no argument with that.
All right, well, that was fun, everyone. Thanks for watching and tuning in to another exciting episode of Dorm Room Sports Chat. We will not be back next week because it is a holiday weekend for us, and a lot of people's parents are going to be in town that are on the crew and staff. So look forward to another exciting Dorm Room Sports Chat episode in 2 weeks. We're out.